Coach, you said that in game two, one of the bright spots, I mean, maybe the only bright spot of game two was MPJ got to see some buckets go in the second half.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you could talk about, do you think that did carry over, and if you could talk about his game two?
I think anybody that's played sports knows it does. I said the same thing when CB made a couple shots late. Game 6 against the Clippers, and there was just a different confidence in Game 7. You see the ball go in, and especially when the ball doesn't find you every game consistently, you can go through periods, dry spells. So really good to see, Mike make some big shots, and the way they're guarding, and that's why they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. It's one of the best I've ever seen. They're taking away the paint, and so we've got to be able to knock down open shots. And when Michael is making shots, it obviously makes the court that much bigger, at least feel that much bigger. So really proud of him. Guy's getting treatment every day. He's just trying to stay alive in this thing. So it's really cool for Michael, and just for everybody in there. That was just a really mentally tough win.
David, pregame game two, I think you said it's the first 18 minutes against this team, you take a lot of punches.
Yeah.
Looking at the 3 games so far, it seems like in 2 of them you kind of weathered that, stay connected, one late. One of them you didn't. So am I onto something here with it's kind of about surviving that stretch and winning a rock fight?
Yeah, not getting down 60. It's always tough to make a run when you're down 60. No, you're right. We just have to stay in it, and he does a great job, Mark does, of bringing different lineups in that first. That's why I really mean it. The first 18 minutes, you see so many different combinations. And he's, I know he's looking for something to find a rhythm or how he's going to rotate the second half. He does a great job of it. And so I just think the longer you can stay in the game, then they got to make decisions earlier in the second half of where they're going, how they're going to do it. And then you give yourself an opportunity where, their guys are playing big minutes just like we are. So it's, and it's hard. It's really hard. It's easy to say, just stay in it, man. It's like, no, they're coming 100 miles an hour. They have a great basketball team, well coached. So just feel good to, find a way to win.
David, Jokic has an off night. You guys get crushed on the offensive glass. You lose the turnover battle, but you still manage to get that win.
Yeah.
What did you see from them despite all of that?
Defensive energy. We finally kind of shored up the defensive rebound. They shot 19 more shots than us. That can't happen, on a normal night. And Nicola's off night, 2016 and 6. Just an awful NBA night. And I actually thought the shots he got, and I always, the stat sheet always says something, but sometimes it says nothing at the same time. The guy shoots 45% from 3. He had an off night. If we would have lost this game, I'd have walked in here and you'd have said, why is he shooting so many threes? I said, because he shoots 45% from 3. So he's going to shoot threes. The paint is packed. We shot 40 threes. We have to take what they give us and avoid the turnovers. And it's crazy to say this, but 16 for 20 is not bad compared to game 2. We took care of it better, especially early in the game, talking about taking knockout punches, only 1 turnover in the first quarter. That's going to get you in a good start. We didn't make shots early, but we got shots to the rim, and that's important.
David, he looked frustrated with himself a few times, especially after that last shot in regulation.
Right.
The guys in there talk all the time about how he kind of picks them up, how there's kind of an obligation of being able to play for Nikola in a way. What's kind of the mood on the bench, and what does it mean for this team to see other guys kind of step up for him on a night like that when he is so frustrated with himself?
Right. I think he picks people up, but I think our whole team picks each other up, throughout all these games. And the bottom line is that guy just keeps shooting the ball. And the ball is coming to him, regardless of the results or the efficiency that night. And I'm sure he's frustrated. When you're that efficient, maybe arguably one of the most efficient players to ever play any sport, I get it. I get why he's frustrated. But game 4 is going to come, and he's going to touch it a million times. Hope he shoots it all the time. He's going to make plays for other people. His defensive rebounding was really impactful. Nikola is Nikola, and our team right now, and I mean it, they're picking each other up man by man. Different people played tonight. We threw Zeke out there. He had good energy. Again, the stats don't matter. Peyton Watson had great energy. And we just need whatever man we put on the court to give us that and give it for the guy next to you. And if you do that, you stay in games.
Kind of on that note, how would you describe the individuals from a human perspective that make up a team that just finds a way to win?
Yeah, it's so funny. I think the mentality between each game is to think of yourself in an unselfish way. How am I going to make the guy next to me better for the next game? And I think when you do that, then when you come together, it's this culture of just trying to find a way. And you have to have that. You have to cultivate that game by game because it's going to change. And they're going to make adjustments, and game 4 is going to be its own thing. And we're going to have new challenges, and there may be foul trouble, and different people are in and all that. The bottom line is these guys trust each other in that locker room, and whatever comes our way, we'll do our best to stay in the game.
Shea also had a tough shooting night, didn't get to the line a lot. What stood out to you about the defensive effort against him?
Yeah, he had a tough night. I also thought we did a good job of showing him different looks late in his dribble moves. I thought this was our best game of the 3 of taking the impact, of his forearm. He creates a lot of space that way. There was a couple times late in the game I thought CB took it the right way and got a good contest. And then more importantly, they have a lot of good players out there. I mean, Jalen Williams is unbelievable tonight. When those guys get into their move and they get late into that early paint, sometimes you got to take a chance and break it off from your own guy and get a secondary contest. Because if you don't, it's just one-on-one all the time. Those guys are just too good that way. So I thought our optionality of what we did with them was good, and it wasn't just one thing or, hey, let's zone this time and do it like this. It's, no, think of the game, organically see the clock. If it's at 5 seconds and you feel like the guy behind will rotate for you, then go bring a second defender late and get a secondary contest. With that all being said, we all know what that guy is, and he'll be great in Game 4, I know. He's an amazing player. But I just liked our overall effort, and I thought our physicality of taking those hits was much better than Game 2.
David, obviously everyone's talking about MPJ's shot making in this one, but how important was some of the defensive rebounds he got? As you guys seem like you really emphasized the energy and effort on that end after maybe a poor first half where they got a lot of second chance opportunities.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're bringing bodies, and I'm going to keep saying this. I can't remember a team this good at offensive rebounding that is this good at getting back defensively. It's absolutely amazing, and it just speaks to the speed and athleticism of their team. And I think I talked about it the other day. Somebody asked about Mike's injuries, and that's been the thing that stood out to me the most was his two-hand rebound because he's had such a hard time getting the second arm above his head. And Mike's a great defensive rebounder over the years. So, having him go in there, he snatched one with 1, but I thought he got it to 2 quicker than he has in the past games, knowing that bodies are coming. Yeah, that's a team effort. I mean, it really is. When they shoot the ball, it feels like the whole world is in the paint. And you just have to win those. And sometimes the ball gets tipped, and you got to play through the elbows and win the 50-50 knockout, defensive rebounds, because that leads to controlling the pace and getting our guys in two-man game late.
You've been with this group a long time, seen it climb to a championship, win a championship, deal with defending a championship, all that. Does playoff experience matter in times like this or not?
I think it does late in games. But I will say this. Who they are is what Game 2 looked like, where you can have all the experience in the world. But if you don't come to play and you play a team that good, you're going to get blown out. And I thought we had a much more mature approach, professional approach. And I do believe late in the games, you can rely on what you've seen and felt and done. And even in losses, in the past, I think you can feel like a game that maybe you've played a couple of years ago. And having all those experiences together, it can carry you through. And even if we would have lost the game tonight, just the way we calmed down those last 3 minutes of regulation and what you saw early in overtime, putting your energy into the defensive end and calming down and executing on the offensive end always gives you a great opportunity to win a really tough game.
David, can I sneak one in here? I don't think we mentioned Jamal so far.
Yeah.
What changed for him tonight in terms of, was it screening better? Was he just doing a better job individually of creating space and knocking down shots?
Yeah, I said this the other day. I can sit up here and coach speak and say we just got to play harder and blah, blah, blah. We also got to get him open. We did a much better job of that. We got hits on people, tried to start him flatter on the court to make it easier for him to catch it. By the way, Jamal Murray defensively in the fourth quarter and overtime, and it's tough to play 47 minutes and tell a guy in the first quarter that you can't believe he's not in a stance and cutting people off when he's got to have the ball, score 27 points, have 8 assists, run the two-man game late. But when they called his guy up, I thought he really sat down and guarded when it mattered. And that's what Jamal is, man. He's so mentally tough. He's another one of those cogs in that room that have been around and seen it. and they know when it's winning time and what they got to give, give of their body and their mind to find a way to win it. So proud of Jamal. I'm proud of all the guys in there. By the way, Aaron made a big shot.